Hi everyone. Today's video is for students of grade 6 to 9. You learned about mixtures. Mixtures will contain two or more components, but they are not chemically combined. They can be separated by physical methods. So this is a common situation in the kitchen. I have got white rice mixed with the dal. Can you suggest a method for separating that? Another situation, white rice mixed with the green grams. So this can be separated by hand picking. This is a common method. If you ask your grandmother, she will say that this can be separated by hand picking. But what's the basic principle in this? Because the components are easily distinguishable by the color or size or shape. We can adopt a method called hand picking. So this can be used in separating chemical substances or components from mixtures. So we are going to study another method of separation of mixtures. So here two components are there. So one of the components is very light and it will be carried away by the wind. So what we are going to do is we will blow a heavy stream of air into this. For example, I am going to blow air. Okay, this is a way to separate. So this method is called winnowing. Okay, this way we can separate the heavier materials from the lighter components. This method is called winnowing. Farmers use this method for separating the grains from the chaff. Students, this is another situation. So here we have got muddy water. You can see that muddy water. I allowed the muddy water to settle down. Okay, now I will do the decantation. This is simple. We will allow the water to drain away, leaving behind the muddy particle. This is called a decantation. That is yet another method for separating the components. Here, one of the components is heavier than water. Now we have another situation where kerosene oil is mixed with the water. So by chance, I have added water into kerosene oil and you can see that they are forming two layers. That is why we will call these two liquids are immiscible liquids. How to separate them? For separating them, we have got a special apparatus. It is called a separating funnel. A separating funnel has a stopcock and using that we can arrest the flow of liquids. So what we will do is we will take this mixture of oil and water in the separating funnel. So I am pouring that into the separating funnel. Slowly we have to pour it. This is called a beaker because it has got a beak. So from the beaker, I transferred that mixture into a separating funnel. Now I am starting the separation. I will open the stopcock. You can see that the lower layer is water. Water is dripping down. Very carefully we have to do that. Still water is dripping down. We can see the meniscus. We can see the two layers. It is almost done. So now what is coming is oil. Okay. So here we will arrest. So we have water in the beaker and we have oil in the separating funnel. If you do this carefully, we can separate oil from water or here kerosene oil from water. Thank you. We are going to study yet another method of separation of substances from mixtures. So we have got sulfur powder. This is the color of sulfur. So this yellow sulfur powder got mixed up with the iron powder. This is iron powder. So it is a mixture now. Iron powder and sulfur, that is in the form of a mixture now. So how to separate it? So for separating this, I will use a bar magnet. because iron is a magnetic material. I mean a material which is attracted by the magnet, whereas sulfur is a non-magnetic impurities. So we will check how magnetic materials can be separated from non-magnetic materials using a magnet. Please watch. Children, please watch. So we can make that into a separate heap. Okay. This is an excellent method used for separating magnetic material from non-magnetic material. In an industrial scale, on a large scale, we can use a magnetic separator that you will learn in higher classes. Thank you. Hi students. This is copper sulfate solution. You can see the blue color. It is copper sulfate in water. How to separate the solute, that is copper sulfate, from this? The method used for that is evaporation. Under normal conditions, it will not be evaporating. We have to heat it. So for that, we need a Bunsen burner and a tripod stand, and we have a wire gauze. This wire gauze is used to get uniform temperature. We cannot heat the china dish directly. This apparatus is called a china dish, and inside the china dish we are taking copper sulfate solution. It is kept above the wire gauze. It has undergone complete evaporation. All the water escaped from this, and we have copper sulfate crystals. So this is a method for separating copper sulfate crystals from copper sulfate solution. You heard about sublimation. When a substance is heated, when it changes directly into the vapor state, it is called a sublimation. There are many materials which will undergo sublimation. All of you know the camphor, it will undergo sublimation. It will directly change into the vapor phase. Similarly, naphthalene, another example is ammonium chloride. So today I am going to show you an experiment with the ammonium chloride. This ammonium chloride. So it's a white powder, and this is a situation where ammonium chloride got mixed with the sand. This is ammonium chloride, it got mixed up with sand. How to separate it? So for that we can use sublimation. For the sublimation, we need a funnel. This is called a funnel, and this is a stem of the funnel. We will close the stem of the funnel with a cotton. Now we need a china dish. This is a china dish. In the china dish, we have got ammonium chloride and sand. As I told you, ammonium chloride will undergo sublimation. Let us see how the sublimation will occur. So for that, again we need Bunsen burner, tripod stand, and we have got the wire gauze. Place the wire gauze above this and place the china dish above the wire gauze. Now we have to cover it with the funnel. The stem of the funnel is closed by means of cotton. Let us see what will happen. It is undergoing sublimation. Ammonium chloride will sublime. You can see the difference between these two funnels. The funnel above the china dish is becoming foggy, which means that ammonium chloride is undergoing sublimation and it is undergoing sublimation. And from the side of the funnel, we can get back the ammonium chloride. For that, we have to take a white paper. Into that, we will be, so ammonium chloride can be recovered like this. Now we are going to study filtration. I have a mixture of water and calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is chalk powder. It is not dissolving, it is a mixture. It's a heterogeneous mixture. We want to separate calcium carbonate from this. So what is the method? So the method is called filtration. For filtration, we need a filter paper. This is called a filter paper. Folding of the filter paper is very important. This is the first fold. Fold it for the second time. This is the second fold. And you will see two pockets. This is pocket number 1. We can do the filtration there. And then other side also we have another pocket. Now what we have to do, a funnel is needed. This is a funnel. Just to wet the funnel, and after wetting the funnel, we have to place the filter paper inside this one. This is the way to wet the funnel, and place the filter paper there, pour little bit of water so that the filter paper will be fixed there. Okay, the filter paper is exactly fitting inside. This is a filter paper. Now we will start the filtration. For that, we need a tripod stand and we need a conical flask to collect the filtrate. So we will keep the funnel on the tripod stand. We will take the calcium carbonate mixture, calcium carbonate mixed with the water. I'm not telling calcium carbonate solution because it's a heterogeneous one. And now we are going to pour it. So we can pour it along the glass rod. You can see I'm pouring along the glass rod. In between that you can stir it and then again pour it. The filtration is going on. You can see the liquid dripping down. What is dripping down is water, and what is on the filter paper is calcium carbonate, because calcium carbonate will not dissolve in water. So calcium carbonate is obtained as a residue. What we are getting on the filter paper is called a residue. The liquid dripping down is called filtrate, and the process is called filtration. You can see the filtration going on. Hi students, filtration is in progress. You can see that still the liquid is dripping down. Almost the filtration is done. So let us see what is inside the filter paper. This is calcium carbonate. This is called a residue. You can take the filter paper out, keep the funnel safely, and we can dry the filter paper. When the filter paper is dried, the calcium carbonate also will get dried. That can be separated. Hi students, we are going to study another method of separation. So that is called distillation. For the distillation, we need a distillation flask. This is called a distillation flask. It is clamped to the stand. It is fitted with an adapter. The adapter is connected to a condenser, a water condenser. So this is another water condenser, and this water condenser has got an inlet. This is an inlet. Through that cold water will be pumped, and this is the outlet. Through that the water will be going out. This is just for condensing the vapors. When we are heating the flask, the vapors will come. The vapors need to be condensed. For that we will circulate cold water. This is the inlet and this is the outlet. So I have fixed it. So this is a distillation flask in which I have taken the liquid, and it contains two components. We want to separate both the components. So for that it is fitted with an adapter, and it is connected with the water condenser. It is commonly called a Liebig's condenser. And the condenser is connected to a receiver. On heating, the liquid will change into vapor, and the vapors will be coming through the condenser, and we will circulate cold water through this. This is the inlet. Through the inlet, we will be pumping cold water, and through the outlet, the cold water will come out. This is pumped from the bottom because the cold water will remain in the condenser for a long time. If we pump through this one, it will be immediately coming out. So this is a method for separating the components. This method is called distillation. And more modified methods are there. It is called fractional distillation. So for that we have to fit it with a fractionating column. This is a thermometer, and using this thermometer we can find out the boiling point. At the boiling point the vapor will be coming out and the vapor will condense, and then it will be collected here. And as I told, for the fractional distillation we have to connect it with a fractionating column. Even in petroleum industry we are separating the components: petrol, diesel, kerosene oil. All these are separated by fractional distillation. That is an industrial method of separating the petroleum components.